What's up, you guys? Welcome back. It's your girl Queen House Crime. I am back with another video. Thank y'all for sharing, subscribing, and commenting down below. I appreciate that. I hope everybody has a great and productive day today. My day was kind of rough today, but it's okay. I'm here. Let me say this because this is part 2 of the compare and contrast that Don did with voices. This is part 2. Look like it's gonna be maybe 4 parts, and then I already did the part 2 with Steve and Chris. So all I gotta do is pretty much, edit and upload that as well. I had a great dialogue with a couple of my subscribers today, so that was good. That was interesting. So I'm glad we did have a dialogue. But just to be honest with y'all, like I said, the only reason why I'm breaking down Don's interview he did with voices is because my supporters once asked me to do it. And not just they asked me and they want my opinion on it. Other than that, I wouldn't be even breaking down that because I know it wasn't going to be 100%. Like it should have been, or because the interviews are contaminated. But yeah, so I'm just making that small little statement to everybody that after I get done with this breakdown and with Steve and Chris, like I said, we gonna be boots on the ground next weekend actually. Because the kids leave this weekend to go visit their daddy. So next weekend, I'll be boots on the ground, back in Kingsport and Rogersville, traveling to Jonesboro, looking everywhere I can possibly look for Summer Wills. Okay. But like I said, I'm a woman of my word. I say I'm going to do something. I'm going to do it. And my subscribers asked me to do this with voices. Don's interview he did with voices, so I'm going to fulfill what I said I'm going to do. So yeah, all right, so let's go ahead and get on to it. If you want to see the transcriptions, you can go to the live. My live is called Next Step in the Case, and it's going to be pinned right at the top of it, so you'll be able to kind of go off of that. I'm going to read you the part that I'm going to be commenting about, okay? And I'm going to explain to you about that. So, for example, I'm finna address about putting hands on grandma. So when you go to the transcript, go to the about putting hands on grandma, and then you'll see what I'm talking about, okay? Just trying to save a little bit on time. All right, so Don talks about putting hands on grandma, okay? So he said grandma was by the doorway or trailer. He's not sure. He wasn't focused on grandma. He never meant to hurt Candace and would never hurt Granny. He said, but they were really, he said he never meant to hurt them, okay? But what we do know was that Candace and grandma was really scared that day. They told the police they were scared. Candace called the police herself once she hurt her knee. If you read the transcript or if you watch the interview, you know exactly what he said. So you can pretty much understand the fear that they probably had at that moment, okay? But I felt like they was really afraid that day. They felt threatened. I think Candace still feel scared. I believe Candace is still afraid of Don, okay? And that's just what I believe. I believe that to this day. And did you ever, I got a question. Don, did you ever get to Jose? That was your intended target. So it sounds like Candace, because you kept emphasizing that she kept pushing you and pushing you and pushing you. And that's what you told voices in this interview. So have it occurred to you, it sounds like Candace was trying to push you away so you wouldn't hurt Jose because you have kids there. And that wouldn't have been good for the kids to see their father hurting a human being in the home. It would have been blood everywhere. It would have been a whole issue. So it was really, that's what I think Candace was probably doing. She was probably trying to save any physical than what it was already was going on in the home, okay? And then keep in mind, y'all, with alcohol involved, how intense and angry they say Don can get. You can only imagine how it was that day last year, okay? Let's move on to the next part of the transcript about seeing Jose again. So once you go to the transcript, you'll read what Don says, and this is what I have to say about what he says about seeing Jose. He said he respects Grandma for removing Jose. That's one thing he said, right? My question is, why didn't you send him on his way day one? Why kick it with him? You should have had him leave day one, because you said in the transcript that everything was cool day one. Day two, when y'all started drinking, that's when things got rough. But if you didn't want that man in your house, you should have addressed it. Hey, bro, you got to go. This is my wife is here. You really shouldn't be here. Do you have a way? If not, we can try to help you get up out of here. But you didn't do that. So my question is, why didn't you send him on his way? You kicked it with him. You should have had him leave day one. And Grandma had to take him to North Carolina. She's an older woman, alone, with a strange man. He only been... Shoot, they really didn't know Jose like that. They didn't really know Jose. So that was very dangerous for Grandma to be alone on the road with this man that she don't know. I mean, she's a grandmother. That would have been better for you to do, Don, not Granny. Yeah. You should have, and you said you respect her for what she did, but you should have always had respect. I feel you should always have respect for Candace's mama, regardless of what she did. And Grandma seeing her daughter's life being torn apart was basically probably offered to take him home because trying to solve the problem. That's what I would do if my daughter has a situation. I'm going to try to solve the problem and make my daughter's life easier. So that's what I'm feeling like Grandma Candace was probably trying to do at the time. Was, Don already in jail, trying to dilute the problem as much as she can, okay? All right, let's move on to the next part of the transcript about Allie staying there. So when you read the transcript, make sure you read about Allie staying there, and this is what I have to say about what he said on that part. Well, we're just going to say that they fell out over Jose. Okay, this is what I had to say about that. I'm just going to say Candace and Allie fell out about Jose. Because Don really doesn't know why. I mean, he says he didn't know why. He really didn't know. Okay? Allie liked him, and somehow he was left with Candace. And kids at home with a strange guy, that's not good. You got a little girl, and you got boys. And not only does girls get essayed, but boys get essayed too. It's underreported, but it happens. Okay, so that just really wasn't a smart idea on nobody's part. Okay, so let me address that. But yeah, that's never a good choice. Anyway, he's out the picture now. So, and Don doesn't really know why Allie and Candace got into it. So, I mean, there's really nothing too much to say about it. They fell out over Jose. Only really Candace and Allie know why they fell out over Jose. And I just kind of find it a little odd that Candace never confirmed it to you. Because you saying you don't know why they really fell out. So I just find it kind of a little strange that they didn't confirm or tell you why. Okay. Let's move on in the part of the transcripts that says about polygraphs. Okay. According to what Don and Candace allegedly told David Dodson, Candace failed the first day, and when she went back, she passed. Okay? So, about polygraphs, Don stated that they both passed. They was too tired and hadn't had no sleep and pretty much stressed, so they couldn't take the LDT. And that's a certain lie detector test is what I'm getting from what he was saying. You can read in the transcript. Okay? So yeah. So it's kind of funny. It doesn't really match what David Dotson said that Candace and Don told him. Because see, David said Candace and Don told him that Don passed, Granny passed, Candace failed the first day, had to come back the second day, and that's when she passed. But Don is telling the interview with Voices that they all passed. Nobody failed, okay? They act like they don't know where that came from. He also said something about the questions they ask you is 25 seconds apart, and you could fall asleep in between each question, and you got to be very calm. And he stated all these stipulations. So you read the transcript, y'all, or y'all go check it out. It just kind of was weird to me how he described this, what they expected him to be, and how they expected him and Candace to be with this lie detector test, right? So I just felt like it was weird to be falling asleep between 25-second questions because your daughter's missing, you're trying to find answers. So, I mean, are you that not phased to the point that you can fall asleep between each question? I would be, in my mind, I would think you'll be worried about your daughter and what she's going through, what she could be enduring right now, because we don't know. She could be suffering, she could be getting tortured, and not to be too real, but I mean that what would be going through my mind. I don't want my child to suffer if my child was in that predicament. But that's what would be going through my mind. I wouldn't be able to sleep or rest in between anything. But anyway, so who knows for real who passed and who didn't? So I just can't wait until law enforcement verifies the polygraphs, and that will confirm it for me, okay? Because I really don't feel like we have 100% of the realness about the polygraphs. So I'm just going to say that I'll wait on law enforcement to verify, and then we'll go from there, okay? So, Don, you were calm enough the next day to take the test, but Candace was a wreck because he expressed that he was good the following day, and she had to wait that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I mean, he listed like a few days. I counted, it was like about 4 or 5 days. I'm like, she was that much of a wreck? What you would expect if you have feelings and you really love a child that you don't know really what happens to them. Yeah, you will be a wreck, right? But why were you so calm and falling asleep? Because you kept on just talking about, you want to go to sleep and you can fall asleep, and that you was falling asleep in between these 25-second questions, between these questions that they was asking you. So, I mean, why were you so calm and falling asleep? I mean, your daughter is missing. So they gave Candace all these extra days, is what you're telling us, right? To get it together. I mean, that really just doesn't match what David's interview with Unmasked, and I would just leave that there. I'm just going to leave that there. It just doesn't compare. It's not the same. All right, so that is a difference, a big difference. Okay, which I already expected. That's why I really didn't even, I knew this was going to happen, okay, throughout this interview. But let's keep going. So the next part of the transcript, we're going to go to how long after Summer went missing did you take the LDT? At first, he said immediately. But then, you had to wait 3 to 4 days because of no sleep. That's not immediately. Immediately is hey, soon your daughter missed, they did everything at the house, they want you to come on down. That's immediately. But then you switch it to like 3 or 4 days later. And you gave us all these reasons why you had to wait 3 or 4 days later. Okay? So they had a few days to get themselves together. So is there a right or wrong way to take the test? Because he just kept saying you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to be calm, you have to be still. So that's just the question, because I've never had to take a lie detector test before. I've done research on it, so maybe I'm going to go back in my research and figure out the deal, okay? Because, yeah, I don't understand that right there. I would like to understand that, right? Yeah, I would like to understand that. All right. And I wanted to know, why did Don keep referring to sleep as to why it's impossible to take the test? That was a little weird to me. He just kept referring sleep, sleep, sleep. It was so hard. I kept falling asleep and wanted to fall asleep. And he just kept, for the past two sections of the polygraphs, of talking about the polygraphs, he just kept referring to sleep. I just thought that was kind of weird. But yeah, he answers this pretty weird. I mean, I'd rather just, like I said, validate everything with law enforcement for more information as far as polygraphs. I wonder why that's a weak signal. What's going on? Let's move on to the last transcript part I'm going to address for this video. And like I said, I have two more parts for the interview he did with Voices, and then that's it. And then I'm going to do Chris and Steve's, and that's it. And we're going to do the footwork. Now, I'll behind the scenes go in between and see and compare contrast myself, because I believe the truth of what happened to Summer is in these details. Because she was last with her mother and last seen her father that morning, allegedly. So, something happened somewhere. Okay, so, I guess I understand people are probably tired of hearing about Don, but at the end of the day, we're trying to find Summer. So you have to. She was last with her parents. So in order to do that, you have to listen, go over what they say, trace back to where they last place they said they was, to look for the child. Okay? And that's what I'm doing. Alright? Alright, so let's go ahead and address about June 15th. Okay? Why did they both phone law enforcement? That's always been my question, and I'm going to ask Chris and Steve what's their opinion on that, because I want to ask them two more other questions. So when they go back live, I'm going to ask them a couple of questions. I want to know what their opinion is on that, because I wondered, why did they both call law enforcement? If Candace was only at home with Summer, why did Don call? I mean, you weren't there. You wasn't aware of what happened yet. So, did you call because you didn't think Candace could handle it? She couldn't, talk to the law enforcement, right? I mean, why did you call when you already informed her to call and she was already calling? Why did you feel the need to call? And that's just, I just really want to know the answer. Y'all comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. If y'all can come up, if y'all might think y'all know the answer, because I would like to know that. Okay. And then you said y'all was also able to talk on Messenger the entire time. Candace was driving everywhere looking for someone while y'all was on Messenger, and y'all didn't get service. So where was she driving? Because she had to have some type of service if you was talking to her. You know what I'm saying? So she couldn't have been driving too far or a bunch of other places, because you would have not, it would have disconnected, okay? So I don't too much believe that right there. Still no explanation of why he would drive straight to the creek or shed first. Okay? Still no explanation really. He just pretty much said, he thought people already looked up there, so he just wanted to run straight there and look down there, which to me is really not a definitive answer or response. I mean, because something in you made you drive down there, okay? Something in you, okay? So I want to know why. Because, I would thought you would have go up to the house and check behind Candace in the kids. Because, we all know kids don't look and search good for stuff. We know kids don't search good. But I have to go behind my own kids, okay? So, yeah, I thought you would have done that and then work your way down, but you went straight down. So, I really would like to know why. A real why. No first thought of searching the house first. So that was weird to me. And then you stated after you checked the shed area that you knew she was gone. Once you saw everyone was looking, referencing your neighbor, you just knew she was gone. So how did you know? How'd you know? And it goes back to what Steve and Chris talked about previously in a part 1 with processing quickly. It would have took a minute for me to process it. I would have still been in disbelief. But Don had no disbelief. No disbelief, straight to gone. And then he also, goes on to say that he beat the police there. And then, but in this interview with Voices, he backpedals. Then he said there might have been a car or two there. He can't remember. Is that so you were so sure that you beat the police there, and then on your interview with Voices, you backpedaled on it. You said you beat the police, then you was like, well, there might be a car or two. There might have been a car or two there. So that means you didn't beat the police there. But okay. But why the backpedaling? Why the change? Because that is a difference. Okay? A big difference. Another big difference I'm pointing out. So, then you say you can't remember, and then there might have been one police car or two there already. And I want to know, is that because Chris put that information out that he spoke to law enforcement, and they made it clear that you did not beat the police there, that they met you. They remember you saying that you was the father. They remembered you saying you the daddy. So, yeah, is that why you changed your answer? I just want to know. Because that is what you said to Voices. So after they blocked the roads and talked to you and, got the information from your phone and everything, you wanted to look in your car. That was a little weird for me. Which car, might I ask? Which car was you in a hurry to get to? Because I'm sure police would have did everything far as they're canvassing, they're searching, they're talking to neighbors. I mean, they're definitely blocked it out for a reason. They're going to look in all the cars, everything. They're going to do that. But I want to know, what was your rush in wanting to go look in your car? Which car? And I'm asking because Summer wouldn't have been into the one in the Subaru, because that's what you drove. You would have been at work. So therefore, she wouldn't have been in that car, right? So what was the need to get to the car? And I'm hoping it was the Subaru you was talking about. Okay, because you took that car to work. So she wouldn't have not been in there because you would have been at work. So, and then you wanted to talk to your neighbors to see what they saw. Pretty much involving yourself into the investigation firsthand. And that's just kind of what I'm observing. You're really trying to involve yourself. You didn't want to sit there. You wanted to get out, see what the police was doing, and get in the mix. Which, in a way, I can understand that. But the police are out there going to talk to neighbors to get all the information. So why do you feel the need to go to the neighbors as well and talk to them? So you can know what's going on, so you can know what they saw. I mean, the police canvasses and they talk to everybody. They do that. So I'm just trying to figure out why you wouldn't, of course they talking to neighbors and things, but why did you feel the need that you needed to as well that day? Was you trying to keep up what's going on? So you can know who saw what? So you can stay ahead of what's happening? So you can stay some steps ahead? Why did you feel the need to know? To know what they saw, if they saw anything that day. Because the police wanted you to sit there while they search, while they canvas, while they look in the cars, while they look in the woods, while they go to the neighbors. Why did you feel the need that you just had to get up out of there? And that's kind of weird to me. It's really kind of weird to me. The only way I would want to get up out of there, it wouldn't be to talk to no neighbors. It would be to be on foot looking for my child. And I would left all the extra stuff to law enforcement, but I would be on foot. But maybe I'm just a hands-on person. But that pretty much concludes the part 2 of Dawn interview with Voices. Y'all comment down below. Let me know what y'all think and what y'all opinions on this. Like I said, we only got 2 more parts to go, and then Chris's. And I'm pretty much over Dawn talking. So we got other things we have to do. So I'm pretty much over that. Nothing is being 100% from his interview with Chris. Things has been kind of changing. So I'm not enthused at all. But I am going to keep in mind what he said, what he's changed on. And that'll be a red flag in my book of where I need to go search next weekend. Okay? But thank y'all for watching. Like, share, subscribe. I love y'all. Y'all have a great night. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Y'all be safe. Stay cool. Y'all be positive. And let's bring Summer home. Let's try to find this baby. Because she deserves justice. She deserves to be found. Okay? Like I said, it's not about everybody around this victim, but it's about the victim himself. She's 5. She's a baby. She's a baby. I love y'all. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.